It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
$1 million still does a lot for you, and we've actually mathematically figured this out, is that, first of all, we know one of the biggest things you're doing with your money. Why are you saving? Why are you investing? Is that you're hoping that it's going to give you that great, big, beautiful tomorrow, and the fact that your money will work just as hard, if not even harder, than you do with your brains, your back, and your hands. Safe withdrawal rates are something we hear in retirement planning all the time. And you hear about from the Trinity study, somewhere around 4% is what people think about. The real answer is, because they've updated, is somewhere between 4 to 5% if you do normal retirement. How does that play into $1 million, Bo?
Yeah, so if you think about what $1 million can do from you, and you were going to retire today, and someone might come to us and say, hey, I'm thinking about retiring, and I've saved up this money. What does that mean for me? Well, using very simple math, not actually running through a full retirement plan, because that's what we'd always want to do before we ever signed off that someone could retire, we'd run through an estimate showing that, you know what? $1 million can generate for you about $45,000 in perpetual income. It's kind of this idea of living off the interest. It's about a 4.5% withdrawal rate. And if you can live off of $45,000 a year, there's a chance that you'll start retirement with $1 million. You'll pull off $45,000 a year in today's dollars. And then when you leave this earth, you'll leave behind at least $1 million in today's dollars. Again, it's this whole live off of the interest idea. But for most households, at least in this country, that's not all. That's not all that means, because if you think about someone who has worked for their whole career and they've paid into the system, there's another benefit that most folks get when they reach a certain age, and that's Social Security. So if you look at the average Social Security benefit, and again, this is from Daniel, help me with the FRED acronym again. It's the
Federal Reserve
Economic Database.
There you go.
Right?
That sounds about right.
I think it's the E always gets
Or
me.
It's that guy we bumped into down at the coffee shop.
We got FTE Daniel, and then we got Fred. And so if you look at the average Social Security benefit that most Americans receive, it's about $18,500. Well, if you take $45,000 annual income plus a Social Security benefit, that comes out to $63,500.
That's pretty close. I mean, because we took it a step further. We said, what does the typical American, what do they need in retirement? And by the way, all of you guys, your data junkies, we didn't take average. We did median. The median income in the United States is about $68,700.
So with $1 million, you basically are able to reproduce or to replicate about the median household income in this country. That's not too shabby. And again, withdrawal rates, it's not always a static 4.5%. You know, if you're someone who's going to retire early, we were talking about a little bit in show prep about this, you may want a lower withdrawal rate. You might not want to be as high as 4 and 4.5. If you're someone who's going to retire later, perhaps you can have a higher withdrawal rate. But this at least gives you an idea. $1 million still goes a long way, and it can still do a lot for the average American household.